good morning, good afternoon, maybe good night, depending on the country you are connected. So this is Samuel Munoz. I'm project manager in ZKTeco Europe in my case. And also I'm product manager of different kind of lines of products in ZKTeco, such as LPR, and other ones like biometrics and thermal devices. So meanwhile, every people are trying to connect. So first of all, you can see it's our main screen. It's our brochure is how we publish the LPR solution. Okay, so in 1 minute, I think we can start because I think that all the attendees are coming and joining. So let's start. So this is a presentation, as I told you. So we split this presentation in 2 seasons. So one season is, let's say, the basic season. So in this basic season, alone today, because this is the English version, and this afternoon at 3 o'clock in Spanish hours is the Spanish version. This version, let's say, is to present the product for you and also to show you how to deal with basics installations. So as I told you, this is the first season, the first season of LPR. So in this season, you can see how the LPR solution, embedded solution, works, because I show you later after we finish the presentation based on the PPT. I show you how the real installation works. This help you to figure out to notice how the solution and the system works. So why we decide to implement a solution based on embedded system? Okay, because till now there are so many players in the market based on the LPR with the engine, LPR engine with the motor, with the algorithm is based on the server, the client server. So for us, we decide to move this way and to choose for a solution based on the CCTV camera. So means taking the advantage of the powerful camera, we decide to implement the engine, to implement the solution, the algorithm, LPR algorithm inside the camera. So this is the first difference from the standard LPR system you can find in the market. So it's a embedded solution, plug and play. It means once you get a camera, you can install in the place you want to read the plates, and let's start. You don't need to deploy any software in the server side. You just configure the solution in the web server of the camera, and you can start to read the plates and to catch the plates. So this is why it's an embedded solution, plug and play, and also master slave solution. Later, I will explain you why I decide to implement master slave solution, because this is the way to link several cameras in the same installation. Okay, one is the master solution, one is the master camera. All of them for sure has the LPR engine inside in the camera, but master and slave solution, master and slave connection, master and slave topology is the way they can share the plates. Okay. So this is the content of the presentation. This is the first point will be the product presentation. The second is the advantage and the feature. The third one is the scenarios and marketing, and the fourth one is the active countries. For sure, there is a new 5.1. For me, is the real-time connection to the camera to show you how the system works. So product presentation, okay, let's start. So in this slide, I want to show you what is the definition with this system. Okay, this is an easy and clever solution on board LPR, because as I told you before, this is embedded solution. So all the intelligence, all the engine is inside the camera. as a standalone for sure, because you don't need to deploy the solution in a server side. And master slave. This is the way that the camera connects. When you have different cameras in installation, they can connect to each other to share the information to each other. And for sure, this is the plug and play. So ZK-Teco LPR CarID, this is the way we call this solution. This is a high performance embedded solution because the algorithm is an algorithm around 98% of rate. So it means the accuracy of every plate you can read is more than 98. So for sure, this is depending on the country, but most of the country we support is many countries worldwide. Then you can see the accuracy of your country is so good. We achieve more than 95% of the accuracy. And also we call this like a new step in ZK-Teco access control system because it's a very efficient and simple solution. This is a very efficient and simple solution to get the plate of the car and also open the barrier. But this is the easiest way. This is the easy way you can do with the camera. But for sure, there are so many features, as I showed you later, that you can configure, then you can play in the camera. So this is why I want you to join for the deep knowledge based on the integration side on Wednesday. And for sure, this is the embedded solution, plug and play. But we are developing the integration with ZK-Teco biosecurity. So this will be the next stage. We are running the development right now. So along this summer, when the summer ends, we want to launch the integration with ZK-Teco biosecurity in the parking module. So means you can have all the power of the LPR recognition camera, but also you can, on the other hand, based on the server side, you have all the logic based on the parking model. So this will be a very nice combination. So we choose, you can see here, which model of ZK camera we choose to implement the LPR engine. So one model is based on the bullet one, and the other one is in DOM one. So depending on the needs of the customer needs, depending on the installation, maybe you can go whether with the bullet one or for the DOM one. So if you want to fix an installation forever, you can set the configuration and you can adjust the length in the DOM one. Maybe this installation will be forever. And if you want to move to the bullet one, it's also fantastic, okay? Because many customers prefer bullet than the DOM one. So you can choose. There are two different models that the system is implementing. So here you can find a little description. So as I told you before, the idea is to build a solution very easy for the installation, very easy for the customer, very easy for the end user. So this is why we decided to use a plug and play solution, trouble-free. We don't the customer need to deal with the hard installation, with the server installation in order to catch the plate. So our scope, our goal is different from that. So this is why we decided to choose a plug and play solution. So as I told you before, you don't need to install the solution, to install the engine in a third-party server. So this is the OCR is embedded in the camera. So the idea is, in the basic installation, you can open directly your barrier from the camera, because the camera, this kind of camera, has a relay to open the barrier. For sure, the camera in the web server software, you can find different type of lists, where you can store the place you want to read. For example, black list and white list, and another you want to customize. So in order to split and separate different type of users. and different type of actions you want to do with the place after being received. So what about the system? The system can catch the plate around 20 kilometers per hour, up to 20 per hour. And the distance that the system can read the place is around 15 meters. So we are supporting many different type of alphabets, such as Occidental ones, Arabic, Chai, Cyrillic, and others. Because the solution is based on the web server, we decided to implement a very friendly UI. So later you can see how the UI, how easy it is to manage, to handle all the feature in the web server. So at the end, our idea is to eliminate the time that the installation need to deploy this kind of solution, because our solution takes around 20 minutes to be installed. So related the plates, you need to install the camera. So this is important for sure. This is at the end, you are reading an external item. This is a car, so you need to install well the camera. So this is a recommendation we will provide you. So install the camera around 20 degrees, maximum 25, and also not only in the height but also in the side. And related to the angle in the plate, the algorithm is well enough to read the numbers of the plate up to 25 degrees. Okay, so you imagine in the car the plate, the license plate was moved from the first time that the installer installed the plate, so we can read the plate also. So what about the topology of the LPR topology? So this is what I explained to you before. So our topology is master slave. So it means you can find a master slave camera, a master's camera that communicates with the slave ones. Okay, so at the end, all the cameras are the same, but they are sharing the information to each other. So the idea is if you create different different lists of plates in the master camera, then the slave camera receives the same information. You don't need to replicate in the slave camera the same information you already done in the master camera. Okay, so if you have 10 cars in the master camera store, then after connection between the master from the slave camera to the master camera, then information will be shared from the master to the slave. So what about the features? So for sure, this will be very fast because I want to show you real time in our application. So we have the live view in the LPR, where you can see the real time of the camera. But consider the real time of the camera is around 4 to 5 frames per second. But this is enough for the LPR recognition. Then you can see the camera catch it, and you can see the result that the algorithm provide. And also there are other features you can see, like ROI. ROI means the area where the algorithm is reading the plate. And calibration pattern, this is a very useful solution in order that they still realize how big is the license plate related to the screen. Okay, if we can move to the historical submenu, you can see all the plates that the algorithm catch. So you can select, you can find for every camera you want. You can search or sort by date, and you can see also the accuracy of the camera, the country, and a little image. This is, if we can move to the list menu, submenu, so you can see here, let's say the core of the application. Okay, in this submenu, you can select which list you want to use. In every use, you can create or you can load the license plate you want to be catched. After catch, you can select the options you want to do after the license plate was catched. So just only open a barrier. You can send the license plate by third solution by HTTP connection, server socket. You also can connect with the milestone solution in order to send to the milestone the license plate. Also by beacon to the third-party solution like controller, or by email. Okay, for this, especially for this screen, for this slide, on Wednesday, I will explain all the possibilities deeply in the session of on Wednesday. Especially for integrators, they want to connect this solution with the server for third-party solution. Okay, for sure there is a submenu for set up the camera. In fact, it's to set up the algorithm, because in this one you can select the region you want to read the plates. So in this case, you can see selected the Euro one, and you can add as many countries as you want to read. For example, in this case, we add 3 countries: Spain, France, and Portugal. And our recommendation is to use around up to 5 countries. Then you can select if you want to trigger the auxiliary input, because the system works like a free flow mode. It means free flow mode is like a camera is catching, is reading all the time. If you use, for example, trigger, it means the camera just only catch the camera once the camera receives an external activation, external trigger by the auxiliary input. And based on motion sensor means the camera is reading just only based on the motion detection sensor that the camera has. Evidence camera means you can connect other types of cameras different from LPR, just only standard cameras that catch evidence. Once it means, for example, imagine the situation, you install the LPR camera on the entrance, and you can install other different cameras, standard CCTV, in order to catch at the same time that the LPR catch the license plate. You can catch other different pictures of the car in order to have all information related to the car, not only the LPR, but also how the car is entering at that moment. This is also the advantage feature you can select. So this is all these features will be explained in the next season on Wednesday, because this is very important in order to set how is the information stored in the camera. So the camera is also include a 64 gigabytes SD card in order to save all the image that the camera catch. Okay, but the way that the camera is storing the camera, this is the way. So this is the rule you need to apply in order to save correctly, and how long and how many pictures you want to store in the database in the camera. So talking about the scenario, there are so many of, okay, and you can see on the right the garage. Okay, the garage in order to check the the status of the car. This is the motor vehicle station. So on this, you can deploy an LPR solution in every line, and also evidence camera in order to catch how is the status of the car. So another nice solution will be in the hotel parking system, because consider in this solution, maybe the customer doesn't have a very powerful server to deploy an LPR solution based on server, but for sure they already has a very fantastic database of the person, of the guests they want to join to the hotel. So they can share the license plates to the database to the LPR solution very fast. Okay, this is something I want to explain you on the next season on Wednesday, how to transfer a database of the license plates you already has to the camera. Okay, so another feature you want to implement is let's say a kind of integration with milestone. Consider if the end customer has a BMS based on milestone, Camera can connect with this system in order to send back to the server the camera and the timestamp. Another nice solution will be the integration with the parking system, okay, in order to control the traffic in the parking, in order to control the parking in the road, and for sure the kind of different kind of private or public parkings. So the idea is to implement this solution in the residential area and condominiums. For sure, in the gas station will be a very nice, fantastic solution. The parking lots, shopping center, hospital, airports. Okay, because the good thing of this solution is the algorithm is testing for the 5,000 license plates with no problem. So imagine you can store up to 5,000 cars. Talking about the countries that we support, so we support so many countries. For the Europe, we support almost all the Europe countries, all the European countries. South America, all the Latin countries for sure. North America, Canada, all the states in USA. In Asia, we support so many countries. In Africa, in Africa we are implementing day by day many different countries, but now we have all of this. But for sure we can implement, and also Australia. But for sure we can implement more countries according to customer needs. Imagine you have a partner, a very powerful partner in a country that right now we don't have the country right now. So the idea is to integrate this alphabet, because we call a country like an alphabet, so we can do it. So we need to install a camera on the country for a time in order to catch as many pictures, as many plays as the algorithm can during 1 week, for example. Then we implement the algorithm or alphabet for this country. Okay, but this is the finish of the presentation. But for sure, after 1 minute, we will start the real-time demonstration. If you have any question related to this, you can drop an email to our emails. So project@ZKTeco.eu or samuel.munoz@ZKTeco.eu. So let's move to the real-time demonstration. Let me check if there is any comment in the let me see if there is any comment here. Okay, so before to move to the real-time presentation, oh, no, let me show you here. Hello. So yes, okay. Sound is very low. Sorry. So let me. So what about now? I think the loud is better right now. Sorry. Okay. Do you support 8-digit plates? So Amir, the idea is not how many digits we support. The idea is which country is belongs to this plate. Okay. So guys, okay. What is the license car capacity LPR camera? How many vehicles can I add? So as I told you, we support 5,000 cars. Okay. So we support more, in fact, but our testing. So where to provide a nice figure that we are confident that the result is good is up to 5,000 cars. Okay. When is planning to connect with ZK Biosecurity? So along this summer, we are deploying the solution. Okay, we are now still in the implementation. So after finish this summer, we want to launch the first version connected to the ZK Biosecurity parking module. Okay, would I get the video after the webinar? My technical team, absolutely. We are recording the presentation. So later I will provide this video to the global marketing team in order to be split and to be shared with others. Absolutely. Let me close. Sorry. Let me close. Okay, my email. Okay. So any questions? Hi Samuel. I would like to ask you how many slave cameras can be connected to master cameras. In fact, there is no limit. Okay, there is no limit because it's not a real-time connection. Okay, later I want to explain you how is the connection between the master slave and master and slave. In fact, the LPR solution has a FTP server embedded. So there is a connection between the slave to the master to the master. So there is no any consuming from master to the slave because it's a slave who is retrieving information from the master. So there is no limit on this, okay? Because there is no consuming the master information. There is no consuming any performance from the master to retrieve all the license plates from the master to the slave. So it's mandatory to use slave cameras? No, it's not mandatory. You can use only one camera, master one. So is it possible for us to synchronize the own camera database with external one? Is it possible for us to synchronize the own camera database with external one? I don't know what you mean scan with external one, but if you are related to the slave one's cameras, yes. You can select every minute you want to be synchronized the slaves from the master one. Okay, so from now I can see any other question. So let's move to the real demonstration. And after that, we will see all the messages. So in our country, so this is a question, the MSOMA. In our country, we got different colors of number plates that become difficult to read at the current system. Does your system capture text from different numbers? The question, this is a very well-known problem with the LPR solution, okay? The reflection of the place, because in many countries there are different types of cameras, especially the color, the back color or the license plate. So I need to make a try, okay? Because we support many countries with different back color of the license plate. So the first answer will be yes, we support this, but for sure there is another factor, important factor, is the reflection of the car plate. So we can make a try. If you don't mind, we can drop a message and we can connect in order to share samples plates in order to make a try, if you don't mind. With a scan with third-party database, yes, it's possible. So for this kind of deadly question, I prefer, so I won't explain right now very fast, but for third-party connection, third-party integration, I prefer you to join to the Wednesday session, because then I will explain how that third-party database can connect with our camera based on FTP server. Okay. Ariane, Brian, please kindly explain to me a scenario where I will need to use slave cameras alongside the main camera. Yes, absolutely, yes. Imagine the situation in a big parking. Okay, in a big parking, you can with different entrance, with different. So the idea is in any installation you have different doors, different entrance. So in this installation, I recommend you to install slave cameras, okay? Because you cannot control with only master camera all the entrance. So if you have different entrance, you have different points to be controlled. This is where I recommend you to install slave cameras synchronized with the master camera, okay? Okay. So there is no any more questions. Okay, thanks. Okay, welcome. So, okay. So talking about the real-time demonstration, okay, you can see here the web server of the ZKTeco camera, CCTV camera. So this is where we implement the LPR engine. So when you install the camera, you can select the IP by default. There's the IP by default is 198.162.1.86 by default. But if you deploy the camera like us in a public server, we map in the IP with a public DNS. So this is why our URL or DNS is lpr.zkteco.ua. So you can connect freely this in order to make a try. And the password credential is admin, and the password is 128. Okay. So let me connect in English version. Sorry. Okay. So now we are supporting different type of browsers. So you just need to, in the case of the Microsoft One, the Internet Explorer, you need to install the ActiveX plugin. In the case of the Chrome or Firefox, you need to install the Flash player. For sure, most of you know that the Flash player will be not supported for the end of this year, but we are moving to the new web server based on HTML5 in order to be agnostic from any browser. Okay, so let's move to the presentation. So here in the LPR, you can see a real-time demonstration. Okay, so we install a camera in a city in Spain. Okay, so right now you can see. Now let me. Okay, so how the camera is working, catching the devices. So let's wait to get a better image. Okay. Let me do something. Okay, LPR. So let me restart this. Okay, it's okay. So I want to. So you can see here the last page. Okay. So I was waiting for a car moving from this lane. Okay, let me do something. So you can see here the BMW and also the Ford, the Volkswagen. Okay. Okay, so in this feature, you can see the main menu is the live view of the LPR. So maybe for you it's very strange to see this because the camera, the LPR is working in the 4 frames per second. It's no, to be honest, it's not real time like the one you can see in the live, but it's enough for the LPR solution. Okay, for the LPR you don't need to process real time image. So 4 to 5 frames per second is more than enough to catch all the plays that the camera can catch. For sure, you need to respect the distance from the camera to the car up to around 15-20 meters, and the other thing you need to respect is the speed of the car, around 20 kilometers per hour. But you can see in this demonstration the cars is going so fast. But the recommendation is to use up to 20 kilometers per hour. Okay. Okay. So in the back of this, so this is the show place. So you is to show the plates are catching. Okay. The show status means in blue. This is the last car plate was catched. So you can see the country Spain, the number of the plates. For our format is four numbers following by 3 letters. So 80% is the accuracy of the license plate catched, and this is the size of the license plate catched. Okay, and this is the timestamp. So the lanes, I need to configure a lanes before in order to use this calibration pattern. Okay, this is the feature that allow or help the installer to be sure that the size of the camera is correct. Okay, so this will be also explained in the next season. And here you can find all the historical license plate. Okay, you want to check, for example, the license plate is 1 for example, you can search. Okay, so you can imagine you want to share a license plate starting by 614 because you don't know the whole number. So here you can use this, and the algorithm is returning all the license plate catching starting with this. Okay, and a picture of this license plate. And for sure, the confidence, this is okay, more than 95% in all of this, the country, license plate, and the timestamp. Okay, so this is will be like a database. So you can search by date or by license plate number. So the other important thing after this, because this will be like a viewer. So this is this one, the list. So on the next season, I will spend most of the time in this submenu because I think it's the core of this application. On this, by default, you can see we implement all plates. All places means on this, the algorithm is catching all the plates with all the plates. Okay, no matter are included or not in any list. Not in list. This is for returning every license plate that it don't belong to any white black list. Also, you can create a new one list, okay, and save. Sorry. So no one list will be number 3. So to be very fast on this, because as I told you, this is the core of this. So I want to show you in detail next Wednesday. For example, if I went to the white list, what we can do in the white list. So I can register manually a plate, for example, return MH, my car, insert a date, a valid date from today. Okay, this is done. And you can select I know validity or by default save. So you don't need to enter if you don't want. Okay, so imagine if I catch the algorithm catch my plate. Okay, what can I do with this? So we can do several actions. Okay, so this is the way to insert manually a license plate, but you can also use you can use automatic way to import the license plate. Okay, selecting, if you have, for example, a database of license plate, you can use the way to import by CSV file. Okay, then you can see here all the plates, and also you can implement automatic importation based on FTP server. So this is what I want to explain to you on Wednesday. So related to the actions, we can play on this. There are so many actions. So for example, if I want to add one action to this list, for example, so you can see how many are available. So this is one will be to open a barrier, EO, for example, open barrier. Okay. Then you can define this, you can enable or disable and save. But you also can add more actions to the list. For example, at the same time that the algorithm open the barrier after catching the plate, I also can use, for example, to send an email. Okay, because I can use, imagine I have a server for emails, so send an email. Okay. Okay, so after that, what is happening? So once the algorithm catches this plate, then the algorithm open a barrier and send an email. Okay. And server socket or FTP or HTTP, I will be explained on the next session because it's based on integration. But for sure, if one of the partners has a system, a web-based solution, has an access control solution, and they want to integrate our camera, so the next season on Wednesday will be fantastic for them because I will explain how to implement the connection, how to implement an STP server, or in case the customer has a solution based on .NET, based on PC. So I will show them how to connect by socket server. But at the end, the idea is the same. So if I select an STP server, so when the algorithm catches this plate will be sent by HTTP server by a file. JSON, for example, let me show you very fast this. HTTP server. Okay. So to configure all of this, for example, IO port. So here, not in man, just only on Tuesday. Okay, safe as good. Okay, this is the output one. The output 0 is our output, and this is the time that the relay will be open. Okay, but at that time, okay, the barrier will be open. If I want to set the HTTP server, okay, so imagine in the same time, there's only, no, in all the time, example, okay, on this. So once the license plate will be catches on that time, I can send a JSON file or XML file by HTTP server. So I need to configure this information. This real-time demonstration will be held on the Wednesday, and all the information you can send: a post message with the image, a standard post, a custom post, and get. Okay. So the idea of this is we can send this license plate, all this information, even the image, by HTTP server for third-party application. Okay, and that's it. So, and related to the another question we have, okay. So how to import, for example, imagine I want to import, okay. If I imagine you have a database of license plates, how to import those license plates? So one is manually, the other one is selecting a CSV file or XML file, okay? And the other one is auto connect to the file to the FTP server, okay? Because our master camera has an FTP server embedded. Okay, and say connect to FTP. So on this, you can see the connection for third-party FTP. Okay, and on this FTP, you need to drop an XML file, CSV file with the license plate in a format. Okay, for example, like this. Okay, this is the format on this. On this is the format or CSV. Okay, so you create this kind of the file with all the information. This is the license plate, the information. Okay, then automatically the camera will connect to the FTP in order to retrieve all the information every 5 minutes. So this is the way to auto synchronize the license plate list from third-party database. Okay, and related to this, how to connect the third-party the slave camera, synchro camera. Okay, so synchro camera is the way to connect to the other camera in the installation. Okay, slave camera. Okay, so here you can find the IP and the user and password of the slave camera. Okay, so slave camera, to be honest, a slave camera point to the master camera in order to synchronize all the license, all the license, yes. So here in the setup, you can select your region, okay? As you can see before in the, sorry, let me close this. As you can see before, in the presentation, we support so many countries, but all the countries are, let's say, added or split in areas. For example, in Europe, okay, in Europe we support so many countries. You can see here, okay, you just need to select the ones you want, okay, and then to be triggered, it means you need auxiliary input to enable that the camera read the plate. Free flow mode, the camera is reading every time, and motion detection is use its own motion sensor, okay, the camera. Resolution, you want to save the picture, catch it, so I recommend this one. To show the ROI, you see, okay, so you reduce the reading area in the screen, okay, it's very popular. You can create different lanes, okay, lane 1 and lane 2. It means when the catch is when the car is moving from the lane 1, so there will be a label like lane 1, and the other one is and the catch is moving from this on this lane 2. Once the camera will be catches, we'll have a label like lane 2. Okay. The evidence camera, okay. Evidence camera, I can add one. Evidence 1, save. Okay, I need to configure the camera so you can see. Okay, HTTP connection, authentication, and URL. Okay, this is based on RSTP. Okay, so you can connect. Okay, you can connect evidence camera. So after this, evidence camera will save. Okay, will provide GPS string with the picture, and that's it. Because this information will be explained in detail in the integration and the installer information, because this is based on the algorithm. Okay, this is to store in the SD card. Okay, the format and the size of the picture, the purge options. Okay, in order to delete a picture in the database stored. And that's it. Audit. Okay, it's a menu in order to check the actions provided. For example, exportation, importation, actions to play in this. Okay, and the moment. Okay. So I think for this season, the scope of this season will be that you know that's how the solution works, and to be able to make and to deal with the basic installation. So this is the scope of this webinar. So for sure, on Wednesday we will see more detailed feature that you can handle with this solution. So the idea in the next Wednesday is how third party, how integrator can deal with this solution, because as I told you, this solution is for sure fantastic for a standalone solution, but third parties can join, can integrate this solution very easily. Okay? So let's move to the okay. Let's move to the questions. Okay. Can you explain about the milestone? Hey, is the camera SAM 4 Galbo? Okay. Hey, is the camera compatible with third-party machine? So yes, it's compatible with third-party machines. But for sure, depending on what do you mean for third-party machine, if you mean third-party software, the question is yes, but you need to integrate. This is my recommendation is that you join to the session on Wednesday in order to see how possible to make this integration. Okay, Nale, Juan, can you explain more about the milestone? Okay, so related to the milestone is a very simple integration. Okay, I need you to provide what is the type of the milestone that support this. But the idea is, imagine you have a BMS milestone solution already running in the customer application, catching many information with the CCTV camera. So all the actions we support are sending almost the same. Send back to the third party the LPR license plate. In the case of the weekend, so I want to explain you in deeply on next Wednesday. So the weekend format. So because the camera doesn't support weekend port, weekend is an IP weekend. So you need to connect a third-party controller, microcontroller like Arduino, in order to code from IP weekend to physical weekend. Okay, then you can connect to a third-party controller, for example. So this information will be provided. Okay, so if there is no more question, there is no any question more. Why the picture is gray, not color? Okay, good answer, good question. Because LPR algorithm is based on black and white format. Okay, so to see how the color is the image, you just need to move to the live view of the camera. Okay, then you can see how is the real color of the image. But the LPR solution is based on black and white. It's always the same. It's based on the algorithm. This is the best way to detect the contrast of the license plate is white and black and white. Aline T, can you tell us more about the weekend integration? Yes, absolutely. I want to explain more on the Wednesday session. Okay, and the session I will deeply share with you all the information related to weekend format integration and HTTP server and socket server. Okay. Will there any problem with the LPR reading when it's raining? The question is no. There is no any problem with the reading in the raining. Okay, there is no any affectation for the rain, for the water in the camera. So there is no. In fact, the camera is IP67, so there is no problem at all. What about during the night? Does it require Wi-Fi enough? Okay. LNT. What about during night? Does it require white light or okay? The camera has inside a very powerful AR sensor. Okay, so the AR of the camera is enough to catch the camera up to 10, 15 meters. So there is no problem at all. The camera is building with AR powerful enough. So that is affected by direct sun. The reply is yes. All the systems, CCTV cameras, are affected by direct sun. So this is why this is very important when you install the camera outside. You need to be sure that you can cover, you can protect the screen or the lens of the camera in order to not be affected directly for the sun. Okay. Okay. Until now, I think all the answers are already replied. Okay, we can. Okay. Okay, a question from Newleham. Okay, what if camera cannot recognize the plate number for it has 98% accuracy? No. Okay. What if the camera cannot number? Okay. So this is our rate, 19% of accuracy, 98%. Okay. So for sure, this is because in many countries there are different customized license plate. So customized license plate, like your own number, or like your own name, is not possible to be read for the algorithm because we are based on the standards of the country, of the format. Okay, this is why sometimes many countries has 2% of no reading cameras, or maybe 5%. Okay, and the other percentage that we can read cameras is the license plates, because in many countries the license plate are too old, with many failures in the license plate. So Patrick Mayore, sorry, I didn't hear my answer. Please, about the software, do it to the internet on your site. Kindly, can you? Sorry, Patrick. Could you please drop again your question? Okay. So maybe your question is related to the software. So it's related to the software. So the question is, you don't need any other software because the software is inside the camera. Okay. So once you get the proper camera, or the LPR camera on the reference ZKTeco reference, the software is inside the camera. So you don't need to apply for third-party software LPR because the software is inside. It's embedded in the camera, web server camera. David K. Is they're integrable with phase span temperature as control product? Okay, so the question on this is yes. Once we finish the integration with ZK biosecurity, okay, our idea is you can combine the facial recognition device or PAN devices, all the ones supported by ZK biosecurity, with the LPR. Okay. On this, you can run, for example, double verification mode. One verification is the LPR, and the other one will be the ones from the ZK device, PAL or face. So right now, the camera no, but when we finish the integration with ZK biosecurity along the summer, the answer is yes. This is for David. So for Eric Benny, is LPR license based on the time lane or the number of planes to be checked? So Eric, I don't know what you mean with the time length on the number of the plate to be checked. Does it has anti-passback? So if itself, the LPR camera doesn't passback, okay? But once we finish the integration with ZK biosecurity, the answer is yes, because one camera will be set like a door. So on the server side, on the software side, you can implement the anti-passback solution. Okay. So all the logic you are requesting right now, like anti-passback and facial recognition combination, PAL recognition the combination, the answer is yes, but when we launch the integration with ZK biosecurity. So Eric Benny, I mean, when I activate the LPR license, it is depending on the time spread of limitation. No. So you don't need, Eric, you don't need to activate the license the license of the LPR, the LPR is already activated once you receive the camera. So it's a one-time forever license. So, and you don't have any limitations. Okay, so there is no limitation on the license, no time and no number of cars. Okay, so you don't need to be worried about it. Okay, so my idea is to finish this. Okay, can I set car with line? Yes, absolutely. Yes, is the idea. So to do this, okay, you can, if you want that just only one car has a limited date, okay, you can create a specific list with this car. For example, a guide list. On this list, you can add the car you want to limit the time. So you can set the valid time. From that time to that time, that this car open the barrier, for example. So this is very easy to do. In fact, you can select the countries, the days and the hours available for this car. Okay, this is a very nice question from Guy. Can I limit the inside cars, for example, maximum 5 cars inside the parking? The answer of this, because this is let's say like a business logic. So the answer is yes when we release the integration with ZK Biosecurity, because at that moment this solution will be linked with the parking module of ZK Biosecurity. So then you can control this type of things. How many people, how many cars will be available to enter in this parking. Yes. So any more with Patrick? You know, Patrick, do the software has a trial time version activated relation to use? Do your camera support third-party machine? Okay. You don't need to get a trial camera, okay? Because I can share with you my online camera to test the software. Okay, this is the URL and the password will be provided, the credentials. Okay, and the second, do your camera support the third-party machine and barriers from other models? Yes, absolutely, because our camera is triggering. Okay, is triggering a relay. Once the license plate catches, the camera is triggering a relay. Then you can connect whatever hardware you want. So David Key, how switchable is for pay to park model token, car, QR, mobility wallet? Any information advice on this? Okay. Is switchable? Okay. For this for this question, the answer is what do you want to do? Because for sure, the idea for this will be to be integrated in third-party solution. Imagine you have a platform for online or mobility payment. Okay, you can integrate the camera into your solution. Then you can control the camera, the license plate, and also you can implement your own logic related to the QR or the mobile payment or wallet. So the answer is yes, but will be carried out or will be developed by third-party solution. Okay. So 5 minutes more for the scan from scan. Is this your plan to recognize also the model, the car of the color? In fact, the algorithm also is able to recognize this information. But to be honest, because this is a solution based on a standalone mode embedded in the camera, we want to be affected the performance of the recognition for this, because you need to have a very powerful solution, okay, to catch the color of the model of the car. So right now we only returning the license plate model, but maybe in the future, if we can deploy the solution in a, let's say, more powerful CCTV camera, for sure we will implement this information. Okay, right now it's not supported because this we don't want to sacrifice the performance of the camera, including more requirements. Yes, we will share the presentation, Patrick, no worries. So Moses Hela, distance from the car speed, this distance around 20 meters up to 20, and the car is more or less the same up to 20 kilometers per hour. Okay, and night mode supported, yes, the camera support night mode and also AR detection, so there is no problem at all. Can we have the webinar training video? Yes, Mark. Yes, our marketing team will provide this once we upload to any server. Okay. Okay, guys. So if there is no more question, let me close this webinar. So how is the power requirements? The power requirements, what do you mean, Moses? Because the camera is a 12 volts camera, so you don't need anything else because you are connected to the web server of the camera, so you don't need to deploy any software. This is the idea. So if there is no more question, let me close the webinar. So I invite you for the more technical. Yes, the product is commercially available. Moses, yes. Please contact with your ZKTeco contact in your country, so he or her can inform you how to get it. Yes. So okay, what is the specification of the camera? The camera. So maybe you lose this, but there are two models ZK cameras. So the specification is like this because the software is embedded in the camera. You cannot deploy the software in third-party cameras. Okay, so you need to acquire, you need to buy ZK cameras. So the model will be provided with your commercial representative in your country. Okay, so hope you can enjoy this first season. So I hope it will be helpful in order to realize what ZK is doing for the LPR embedded solution plug and play. So I invite you to join to the webinar of the third-party integration of Gitly integration for the next Wednesday. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Can we have mini camera for security car, Mark? No. The camera, there are two models that support this LPR solution. So if you want to install one of these in the camera, because there is a model, a DOM model, you can do it, okay? Or bullet one, but I think the bullet is too big for this. It's too much. It's too big. Okay, thank you so much for your time. Okay, so I hope to see you, all of you, on the season on Wednesday. Thank you so much for your time. We're in touch.